Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. My name is Bogul, and today is Friday, the 28th of February 2020. Today's show is another installment of the Albion TV interview series, where we talk to various members of the Albion community. In today's interview, we had the great opportunity to talk to three of SBI's staff members: Amoebius76, LemonCookie, and Mytherceria. In just about a minute, these three guys will speak for themselves and tell you what they do exactly at Sandbox Interactive. Before we start the interview, I do have two quick announcements. One, this interview was recorded just a few days ago, so it's not quite live. And two, during the stream, we will be giving away a few gold codes. Not through the usual way of using the raffle command in chat, but instead, we will be playing a little bit of hide and seek on stream. So keep an eye on Twitch chat to see when a new round is starting. All the information will be displayed on screen. All right, and now for the interview. Thank you again to Amoebius, LemonCookie, and Mytherceria for taking the time to sit down with us. And without further delay, let's listen to what they have to say. Enjoy the interview.
Welcome to the Albion TV interview series. Today, Bogul and I are very lucky to have three members of the SBI staff here with us, and we will get to have a little bit of a conversation, a get-to-know-you moment with them. So without further ado, I'll let them introduce themselves.
So yeah, hi, I'm Amoebius, doing the quality assurance testing at SBI.
I'm LemonCookie, and I'm producer at Sandbox.
I'm Mytherceria, and I'm community manager at Sandbox.
Well, thank you all for coming and joining us today. I guess we're going to start with how you all got into the video game industry and how specifically you got to SBI. Amoebius, why don't you start and just let us know a little bit about you and where you came from.
Yeah, sure. After school, I didn't really know what to do. Then I got I'm a trained banking advisor because my mother just said, well, that's a good one. Why don't you do that? Didn't really like that. So at some point I had an epiphany because obviously I really enjoy playing video games. And yeah, then I moved to Berlin, studied at the Games Academy, did the production studies there. And then, yeah, during the studies, I began freelancing in QA for SBI. And so last year, that actually went into a real position there full time.
Excellent. And how have you liked it so far? Have you been enjoying yourself here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just working in games was like my goal, my overall goal, and then I'll see where I can go from here. But I really enjoyed in general, like working with the team, with the players, interacting with them, and yeah, I really enjoy it. Yeah.
All right, and what do you do with Q&A? Because for me, quality assurance, I'm like, so he makes sure that we have a quality and it's assured. Well, what does that entail?
Basically, just whatever the other devs come up with, what new features they create. That has to be tested obviously in various ways, and then we try to break it and see what edge cases we can or how we can exploit those features. Just to try to get you as high as quality as possible in the eventual outcome when it comes live and the new feature.
So you're the guy who tries to break the game before the players break the game.
Yeah, right. Basically, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. LemonCookie, why don't you introduce yourself? You said you are a producer at SBI.
That's right. Yeah, I am. So yeah, I was always into games actually, and I still remember getting a Nintendo 64 long time ago
It's a
for
good moment.
Christmas. Yeah, and actually my passion for games never stopped. But before I went to the games industry, I worked as an office administrator or in a hotel even, and I did a lot of different things. And after years of being a gamer, I watched making of Uncharted 2, and there were Amy Hennig talking, and I thought what she's doing, I want to do as well. And so I studied game production in Berlin, and I had some internships as a producer, one in England, one in Germany, and then I went to Sandbox.
Oh, excellent. Could you fill us in a little bit on what a producer does? Because for me, I'm like, oh, do you make the fat beats that go in the background of Albion?
Yeah, well, if you ask a producer, if you ask 5 producers, you will probably get 6 or 7 different descriptions of a producer. So, what I do is I'm mainly responsible for all different types of coordinations or plannings. So, this could be the patch schedule or task management or general processes. So I'm work with the departments and teams on a daily basis on achieving the goals and support them in doing that. So I'm not really working on the game. I'm more working with the people together to achieve the goals and to kind of solve the question, how are we going to do that?
So like cross department communications and making
Yeah,
sure that everybody has the same end goal and making sure that somebody's project doesn't conflict with another person's project.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Awesome. And Mytherceria, we've actually gotten to talk to you before, so we have had a little bit of we know a little bit about you. But for those of us here in the audience who don't, do you want to fill us all in on who you are and where you came from?
Yeah, sure. Actually, my background's kind of similar to Amoebius because when I came out of school, I was like, what am I going to do? And of course, having Asian parents, they're like, do law or be a doctor or an accountant or choose one of that. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go into law. Didn't really like it and kind of spend most of my time actually playing games to escape the boredom of it. But to me, like gaming or like the games industry was kind of like a dream. I thought I could never get into it with the kind of skills that I had. So I ended up going into stuff like theater producing and doing some game localization. And then later on, actually going into community management, but in another industry. So like freediving, for example. Then eventually I decided to move to Berlin because I really liked the city and happened to land a job at Sandbox. So it was really, really cool. A really cool opportunity to be able to get into an industry that I never thought I could get into in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm going to say that seems like a very common theme for most of us in the gaming industry. That, oh my gosh, I never thought I would get in. And that seems to be the hardest part is getting your foot in the door. I know that I guess I have gone to PAX East, which I will be at when this is playing, guys. Sorry, I'm not here. Um, but I've gone to the How to Break into the Gaming Industry panel 6 years for 6 different years. I understand just how incredibly hard it is. But guys, if you're listening and you want to get into video games, it doesn't matter where you start. If you have that passion, you can figure it out too. Everybody here was like, "Oh, I don't want to be doing this anymore," and found video games. So you can do that too. So why don't we go back to you, Amoebius, and discuss some of your recent achievements here at SBI. I understand that since you've been here about a year, this has been a very exciting time for us. We've had a lot of things going on. What projects have you worked on? Did you work on random dungeons or more like weapon balancing?
Basically, I mean, I've got another guy doing QA with me, and we mostly work at everything a bit together. Or sometimes we also share or divide work into features maybe, so we don't have to when we don't have the time to test it all. With both of us, and then we do that. Like for example, the recent events, like the Halloween dungeon, and the Christmas dungeon and stuff like that. That's what I mostly, mostly tested. But basically, like the Queen update we released, that was something we both worked on and tried to divide. Like, what did I do? Like, I started with the Crystal League and then had him help me, and then I have the other guy with the hideouts, for example. Yes, basically we mostly just test everything, and it's only like special features only one person does when we actually really running out of time there.
Do you want to talk about one of the weirdest bugs you found recently? Like something that would have been a huge problem if you hadn't caught it, or something that was just unexpected or strange or funny?
Oh, I think I have to think a bit about this one. I mean, just a funny one. I think it was, when I logged in, I think on the test server, and it was on my island, and the animals just kept floating around, just sliding around on the ground without any animations. It was just really weird to look at. I mean, it resolved itself by restarting the game, obviously, and then looked a bit into it. So shouldn't happen. Can't be that sure. But sometimes it's just the small visual bugs that are the funniest mostly.
Yeah, the spinning and the sliding and the blinking everywhere, or when you have like all your weapons on at once. Those are always fun.
Yeah,
Long
right. Or
weapons.
when I think the tier 8 Guardian armor once just was glitched out for a couple days, and the running animation was just so broken. No clue how that got in there. That's mostly the weirdest part. How these bugs maybe just slide around us and don't get detected.
Well, it's a very big game. You know, it's if you have two people who are trying to look for all the bugs in the game, it can be incredibly daunting. I mean, that's one of the nice things about having so many people is that they find the bugs right away. You know, you have so many people playing the game, they're gonna find them for us pretty quick. But it's got to be incredibly overwhelming when you're looking at, oh gosh, we have so much to look at in so little time when you have so many new features going in. Do you, when you test things like the crystals or hideouts, do you bring in players to assist you with this?
There are occasional test plays. With the dungeons, for example, the Elite Run, the Valonian dungeons. We had groups of players I think with Retroman, with one of the game designers. He has, I think, a group of players he likes to test with. We just put it on the staging server and then have players run over it and see in what case they may be able to break it.
Excellent. Do you bring in people yourself, or do you want to use this as an opportunity to call for more people to help test? Because I know that Retroman always is asking for more people who can grab 4 people and do a test.
I mean, basically, it's always nice to have some more people to be able to help us. I'm not sure how it would be employment wise, if that's what.
Oh no, I mean just testers. Like I'm always getting people who are going, I'd like to test out things. I'd like to help out, finding bugs. How can I help out, SBI? Not as an employee, but as a tester. Like we have, with Retroman and stuff, he's always, saying, I need somebody who can be here at this time with 4 other players and be consistent and be willing to sign an NDA. That's with your full name. And I just was seeing if you were interested as well. If it sounds like you guys might have a more constantly testing, so it's kind of harder to bring in players. But
yeah, I mean, just if it's testing new features like new dungeons or some armor or spell balancing, then just approach Retroman or one of us, and we can just tell him, hey, there's someone who would like to test too. With the rest, I mean, we don't really do that regularly, so it's maybe hard to say, well, okay, every 2 weeks we need a couple guys doing this and that at the time. But in general, I think would be, I think, maybe an idea to maybe announce or just do something. So hey, we will need maybe just hand off people on this certain day to test a special feature. That would be an idea to maybe help us a bit. Yeah, sure.
Well, I could certainly help with that a little bit. You need some scheduling for people to come test. I can throw out some advertisements for those dates. Sounds good.
Oh, great.
So Lemon Cookies, you've been here how long?
1 year almost.
Oh, okay. Oh, so all three of you are about, at the same time. You guys all came in. I'm the senior member in the room. Ooh. All right.
We're babies.
Well, that's awesome. So you guys have all been here from about free to play then?
Yes, around, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've also been freelancing for SBI for 2 years before that, but full time more than a year now.
So you're then well aware of our histories. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. We have quite a history. It's fun to go over sometimes. So Lemon Cookie, though, in your last year, what have been your big moments? What has been the big thing that you were like, oh gosh, time crunch is happening. How do I get this problem solved?
Well, actually, the Queen update, I have to say, because it was complexity-wise, and when you look at the features and the content that was being worked on this at the same time, a really big task actually, and seeing everything from the beginning. So when it was a concept and then you begin to develop it and then it's released, it's like being super proud of everyone. So this was really the biggest moment for me so far. I have to think of, I know the rubber band boots actually was the first thing where I had to sit down with the people and say, okay, what do we do now? And then we came up with the rubber band boots. So not me, this was a colleague, but this was, I think the first really problem I encountered, actually.
So that was when we were having all the rubber banding and you guys were looking for a solution to say, sorry, players, that this happened.
Yeah.
This wasn't fun for anybody. Here you go. Have this nice little gift. Because that's one thing I do notice about SBI that you guys do very well is acknowledging the things that go bad and talking about them openly and honestly. And that, for me, being a long time follower of video games is just I don't know, it's a breath of fresh air. It's really nice, and now getting to be part of the community team and being part of that communication, just, I don't know, it feels really good. How do you guys feel about the way that SBI communicates with its players? Do you guys enjoy being so open to the player base, or do you find it, oh my god, it's like an exposed nerve, they keep poking me on Discord?
Well, as for my position, for example, I'm more in the middle of the department. So when I talk to community, then of course I get their point of view, or when I talk to Robin, for example, or so for me, it's always interesting and good to know when something pops up and how we're going to solve this. So I'm not directly involved with the communication of things, but more in the background in these cases.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I always see when we put new features on the test server that people just flock to it and are really eager to see the new stuff. So I think it's nice that we actually try to communicate, like, oh, well, there's something coming maybe before. If someone says, well, we need more stuff for our solo or small scale players, and then we could say, well, there's something coming, or some fix they really are really eager about because the spell didn't work for for some time, and then we can say, well, there's a fix coming. So I think it's good to listen to the community and just be able to also communicate openly with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I personally just like the honesty the most. It's like we don't get a lot of that business talk, and I wonder sometimes if it's the fact that it has to go through translation. Bogul and I really love all the naming conventions here in Albion. Wandering mobs, solo dungeons, As a producer, though, so right now, I don't know if this might be the time in the in the interview where we have to start going from what happened to what's going on now. Is there any way I can poke you into a little bit of what's going on now inside the offices of SBI?
No. The thing is that I'm involved in almost everything, kind of. So I rather say, well, a lot, actually. You can expect a lot, but I won't go in any details. No, I don't want to. In the end, you slip something out, I slip something. So you can expect a lot, but personally, I can't go in any details as I'm involved in almost every feature development from the production perspective.
Well, could I ask if we have moved from our current, are we still on Queen? Are we still working on Queen primarily, or have we started to shift focus towards the next content update? Or are we still primarily focused on making sure that Queen gets all of its features completely polished?
Yes. Yeah, this is actually a good answer, right? Just say yes and no. Sure, we're still busy with getting all the feedback from Queen and keep improving that. This is still a focus. But at Sandbox, we're always working on things. So, yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. I like see, I'm going to tell you, you're much cagier than Robin. When I ask him these questions, he just starts telling me the answers. And this is why we haven't done an interview in the while. It's like, you sucked up 3 different dev talks. So, yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that we're still, it does seem like we still have a number of features that we're trying to polish here on Queen. Are there any of the features that you feel need a little bit more attention? I know that we're still going through the Alliance test coming up here on the 26th.
Well, I would say that with the amount of features which came live with Queen, we're still looking a little bit on everything to see what is the feedback and not anything precisely. But yeah, we're looking at everything, and all the feature owners, they listen closely to the feedback, and we're trying to improve the features based on that. And yeah, the Alliance changes or Alliance tests are going on very soon. That's right. Yeah, really, really interesting how it will turn out. I'm looking forward to see that.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't think there would ever be a time when I didn't want to go to PAX. But when I heard that this feature, well, I think it was first that they were capping alliances on the 26th, and I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be here for this. I'm not going to get to watch this happen. And for the first time, I was like, oh man, I wish I could just have a staycation and stay at home and watch a video game and find out what's happening next. But you said a key word there, so I'm going to go over to Mytherceria here. And so I heard the word feedback, Mytherceria. How has the feedback been for Queen? And then I guess we could move from Queen specifically towards this new patch, because I imagine that the feedback on the 2 has been vastly different.
Yeah, so I guess I can talk about Queen. Essentially, there was this, the reason why we got the test in was because we had this issue of the mega alliances and everything, and people were really talking about it. And I mean, Robin and Korn kind of saw that also when they were looking through, and they decided let's go about with this because it seems to be an issue. I also spoke with quite a bunch of guilds actually, or the guild leaders of various guilds, to ask them for their feedback regarding this, and also in relation to Queen itself. And I think most of the time it was about territory control. They all enjoyed the new update a lot. There was a lot more things going on. People were able to participate in territory fights when they previously couldn't back. And also, they really liked the new map and the idea of hideouts. And then obviously the most, I guess, upsetting thing for them was the gathering, crafting, and farming. I think you already know.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of that. I've gotten the PvPers in the world are thrilled, and it seems like the gatherers for at least a week or two were having a very hard time. And then I started hearing from some of my high-end gatherer friends, and they were like, no, it's really not that bad. It's different, but it's not that bad. But transport is awful. And that's the one that they keep talking to me about, is the distance from the outlands home to the cities so that they can sell their goods. That seems to be getting them. But
yeah, it's pretty much like, is it worth the amount of effort and everything? That was definitely also, I mean, the devs are aware of that, and they are looking into whether it needs to be adjusted, etc. But right now, there's no confirmed plans, but it's definitely getting looked at. And also with the farming thing about the click intensive issue, yeah, definitely. I've spoken to them about that for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Another one that, like, I guess this would just be a bug, but the other one I hear about is when people get their stuff back from their hideout, journals and resources are still on the transport cost from city to city. So they're getting, 40 million silver bills to pick up 10 journals.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll look into that, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was already a known issue. Hey, guys, I just solved your issue. I pointed it in the
I'm
right
not sure
direction.
my colleague knows about this.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just speaking on your behalf. But
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's probably not nothing new, but I mean, I could look into our tool, our bug tool, but like those things, that's something he knows mostly about.
There's also a quick fix to this. If you don't have to pick up everything at the same time, and then if you pick it one by one, then you don't have that cost, and you can just leave the journals in there for a different time.
You're definitely not gonna transfer a 2,000 silver journal to your backpack for 500,000 silver. That probably wouldn't be a good choice. That's not the way.
Yeah, certainly.
All right. Well, so with that feedback that we've been getting on the Queen and Alliance features, we recently changed from capping alliances to changing that feature to more restricting the ease of tower control. How has the feedback been on that? Because I've gotten a lot of mixed feedback. I've gotten a lot of the squeaky wheel players being very loud, but the general buzz that I was hearing about the capping didn't happen as much. I didn't get that general excited buzz.
well, I think it was probably the issue that it was first announced to be a cap, and then later it was, we rethought the situation and then decided that probably a more like soft cap would work. Does that make sense? A soft cap. And therefore, people who were initially hyped for the first hard cap were probably disappointed that it wasn't going to go through. And, changing the kind of test pretty quickly, I guess, people, it's just human nature to just be not as excited for the second thing, you know what I mean? I mean, I understand that there's a lot of concerns regarding that because they feel that, it will do like nothing to stop mega alliances and everything. But I think the main thing that we should focus on here is that it's a test and it's not like it's going to be set in stone. So essentially the devs want to have a look at how this goes first, like maybe the first few days or like, the first week and everything. They can make changes really quickly. They can adjust values and stuff to give it a go. And we see how players adapt and react to that. I think it just gives us a lot of valuable feedback and informative sights into this player behavior, actually.
Yeah, I understand that entirely. I think that it's great that we're doing a test, and either way that we would do it, I think it would be a good thing. I understand the players' concerns from the first test of how it would impact individuals, but it does seem to me that we've gone from a ripping off the Band-Aid and then slowly applying ointment and hoping that this wound heals, one really painful day, and then it keeps getting more and more relaxed and it gets easier as the changes come forward, to going to the other direction, the other extreme, going to something like a minor change that will probably be like a tightening vice over time, and it'll be tuned to probably be more restrictive from the way I see it impacting the mega alliances at the moment. Because they already have started to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like, I can also, I mean, I can also see it getting more restrictive, but that's just my own personal opinion. It's nothing to do with like what the devs have decided at all. We just have to see how it goes. That's literally it. But yeah, I mean, one of the also the main reasons why we also went along with the soft cap was that we realized that having this hard cap would really affect people like who are not combat. That they're not like mainly involved in combat, because then kind of guilds will have to split up everything, and people whom they used to play for like many years wouldn't be able to play with them anymore because they're focused more on crafting, they're more focused more on like gearing their ZVZ team. So they kind of pushed into a like kind of like in this leper zone or something. And it's not nice at all for that.
I see the exact same thing. Yeah, it's that was what I was concerned of too, and those were the main concerns that were voiced. Was that the non-elite players, the friends, the boyfriends and girlfriends and children, those people would be kicked out of guilds, and it's interesting that the effect that we see now is that we're still seeing a split with these top alliances and how they're working. It's very interesting how they've chosen to break apart and work together at the same time, even before the test comes in. How do you guys feel about the current direction overall? There was an interesting number that came out recently in one of the recent statements by Robin Henkes. He said that we had 350,000 unique accounts playing the game over the period of a month. For me, having been here for 5 years, and actually, Bogul, it's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Probably.
Yeah. When was winter 2014? How many years?
6.
Yeah, that long ago. Yeah. All right. So that long ago, things have changed quite a bit, and it was really exciting to see us go over that saddle point. That I believe Bersalak was the first one to bring up the saddle point. Was he, Bogul?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the idea that your population is going to go down to a bottom point and then kind of sit there, and then as your game gets better, go up. And I feel like we're at that point now where the population is going up. And somebody even told me recently that we had, this is a player from a different game, told me we had more active players, if that was true, than Eve did in the last month. And I was shocked. I was like, this is incredible. As people who've joined in this game as we've been on this ride up, how has it been for you guys getting to watch this from the inside?
Actually, I remember, I think I joined SBI just before we went free to play. So I know really kind of all sides. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this was, free to play was absolutely amazing to see that. And now with Queen, I think we had Percival before that, then Queen. And to see that right now is absolutely, it's awesome. Yeah. I know my colleagues you probably agree with me, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean,
we will agree with you.
yeah, of course.
All right. Well, thank you. Is there anything you guys would like to go over before we head out of here? Because I think we've done a pretty good interview. We have a better idea of who we have working here with us at SBI.
Actually, yeah, I have something. Actually, and maybe you didn't know that, but we as a company, we watch community work like videos you do, or when we have a farm contest or super cool artworks. We have a thing called Show and Tell every week, where we get to see cool stuff that we maybe would have missed because people are just maybe focused on work. So when I just want to let the community know that we see the work, like videos or artwork, and we actually we like watching that and enjoy that very much. So in case you were ever wondering if we have a look at those things, we do. Every week.
Do you look at the everyday posted bee mounts? Pictures? The pictures for bees?
We know about this, yeah.
Yeah, of
But,
course. So Amoebius definitely know that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen those pictures. I think I tried to encourage them to also maybe just post a random bee fact with that.
that would be awesome. No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm very bad at jokes, by the
just
way.
being
Let it
informed about
be.
bees.
Just let
Yeah.
it be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, behave.
I think you guys are dancing around the actual question here. Is it going to happen or?
I mean,
Well-
I get to test all the stuff.
Everyone is like,
So far, I think there
yeah,
hasn't been any
no.
bee mounts yet I've tested. So I don't know really.
Okay.
We're looking into it.
Looking into the feasibility. Okay.
Yeah.
Bees are very small. It would be hard to ride one.
I mean, you're not making this easier than for
No.
us.
All right. So do any of you, anybody else have anything left to say? Or we can do some shout outs to other community members or SBI employees who you really appreciate the work they've done over the last 6 months to a year?
Absolutely. I'm super proud of everyone every day. So yeah.
Yeah, and I just, as I said, I think earlier, I just love working here with the colleagues, with the community, especially like the drama, the wholesomeness. It all just is very special. And I mean, we were also in game playing by ourselves, being engaged in conversations with the players, and it's just pretty cool to see how many people are passionate about our game.
Yeah, I think I've really grown up so much since I first started. But also because of the team I've been working with, everyone in the office has been really supportive. And also, I mean, for players, I also wanted to let them know that I always take their feedback always to the dev, so I take into consideration. And even if I don't reply that immediately because I'm really kind of busy with other projects and stuff, like their feedback is not going into a void, it is actually being shown to the other people.
That's awesome. Well, thank you everyone for coming in today and chatting with us. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that the audience enjoyed it and appreciated it too. Bogul, do you have anything you'd like to say before we head out?
I suppose I have just two small plugs or questions rather. Getting in touch is always interesting, and I was just wondering specifically for QA, say I find a bug, how can I report that or let you guys know about it? Say I just have something very important to say, or I found an issue that is maybe related to community or producing. How would I get in touch with you guys?
Yes, so for QA, I mean, if it's just a small bug, like some environment that's glitchy, you can always report that with the #bug comment in the chat, and then we'll see like who did that, where was it, and what time, and best is to have a good description there. If it's a bit more complicated, there's the forum, the bug section, and you can post a more detailed description there with screenshots, maybe also with a video. And also, I mean, if it's something urgent, you can also contact me on Discord. Best is to just immediately go into, well, I found a bug. Here's the description. Maybe here's also a screenshot. And then that's my preferred way to contact me about a bug, because that's how I can most effectively deal with it. But I'm always thankful for any reports about anything you find there.
I'd like to add, if anybody, does have game-breaking bugs, you can keep just messaging us in the community until you get a response, and that works too. I've had a couple of people come in the middle of the night saying, "Oh my God, this is breaking the game. Please help." And we do get that information to the necessary people, no matter what the hour is. So if you do have a game-breaking bug, feel free to contact any of the people in the community. Well, the community
definitely.
management team.
Or just appreciate the feedback. That's important too. I didn't want to put this into the direction of just saying where can I report problems. I kind of wanted to just figure out how people could get in touch in general.
Just like say hi.
Yeah, just feel free to write a message on Discord, actually. So yeah, if it's something for customer support or QA, I will forward it. But in general, if you just want to say hi, just say hi. That's fine. In the end, we're just people. So just, yeah, don't be afraid. Just say hi.
You're not just people, you're gamers.
Aw. Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, I guess whatever issues and everything that you have, be it, I guess, if you know the appropriate channels, please go and do that. But then I have people messaging me about bugs, about support stuff, etc. And I do forward it on to the relevant departments. So I'm always available on Discord. So feel free to contact me on there, or even on the forums. You can private message me or write a post or something and tag me in it. That's totally cool as well. Also on Reddit, if you want.
There are so many options, so many ways to get in contact with the SBI team. Well, thank you guys very much for coming in and talking with us today. We really do appreciate it, and I hope to get to do this again soon. Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
for
so
having us.
much. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.